I have to ask, is it time? Great. So we don't usually have sing-alongs in the prelude, but I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me down. Gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. I think I can make it now. The pain is gone. All of the dark feelings have disappeared. Here is the rainbow I've been waiting for. Gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. Bright, bright, sunshiny day. Look all around, there's nothing but blue skies. Look straight ahead, there's nothing but blue skies. I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me down. Gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. Be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. Gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day.
Good morning. Is that okay? Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Oh, that's pretty good. Welcome to the First Unitarian Church of Pittsburgh. It is Sunday, July 26, 2026. I am Jim Pashik, member of your Board of Trustees. For those with visual disabilities, I'm an old white male, I know, with glasses, and I'm wearing a blue blazer and khaki pants. With me today for this service are members of the Board of Trustees. Each will introduce themselves as they participate in the service. The most important message today is you are welcome. If you are watching now or in the future, you are welcome. If you are a longtime member or brand new, you are welcome. We Unitarian Universalists are one people of many beliefs, many origins, sexualities, and genders. We're a multi-faith religious community where all are welcome. Diversity is celebrated, and questions are expected. We are all growing, all learning, and all loved. Just as you are welcome. If this is your first time with us, we would love to be in touch with you. If you have not already done so, please go to the welcome desk in the garden lobby over there. Or if you're on YouTube, visit our website, Just Google First Unitarian of Pittsburgh and sign up for our weekly newsletter found at the bottom of the page. Announcements. Mark your calendar. I guess we still do that in a digital age, but for all of us, mark your calendar. You're invited to our annual in-gathering worship on Sunday, September 13th. This is a special welcome back worship serving as a reminder that we need one another. We invite you to bring a small sample of water from your home or summer travels as a symbol of our mutual ministry and love. There's a grand picnic following worship hosted by your Board of Trustees. It'll be good. With any luck, we might be able to try out our new expanded patio outside the Schweitzer Room. Compliments of your generosity during the capital campaign.
Good morning. My name is Lucinda Beatty, and I'm serving my second year on your Board of Trustees. This is my second time being on the board. I was on it back in the mid-1990s and was a co-chair of the capital campaign that resulted in the garden lobby. And now.
Good morning. My name is Clint Geller, and I'm new on the board. This is my first time participating in a church service, and I'm very pleased to do that. Lucinda will be lighting the chalice after I recite the opening words. Welcome to this time and place designed for community, reserved for reflection, song, and learning, and designed for inspiration, contemplation, and comfort. Welcome to this time and place where surprises abound, where we seek peace and enlightenment together, and where the Spirit lifts our hearts. Welcome to this time and place where one can listen, listen, listen to the heart song, ever deepening, ever widening, ever illuminating the path before us. Now please join us in the opening hymn, which is in your order of service and up on the monitors. Thank you.
Good morning. Again, good morning. Yeah, now you got it. I'm Neil Binstock. I'm the treasurer on the Board of Trustees. Sitting behind my left is the man behind the curtain who knows everything about treasury. Please read along with me. Collective reading. Read along with me. Love is the power that holds us and is at the center of our shared values. We covenant to practice interdependence. We honor the interdependent web of all existence. To practice pluralism, we celebrate that we are all sacred beings, diverse in culture, experience, and theology. To practice justice, we celebrate I want to see you following along. To practice transformation, we adapt to the changing world. To practice generosity, we cultivate the spirit of gratitude and hope. To practice equity, we declare that every person is inherently worthy and has the right to flourish with dignity, love, and compassion. We are accountable to one another for doing the work of living our shared values to the spiritual discipline of love. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Is this about right? I'll let you adjust it. Way close. Okay. Thank you. All right. Okay. Thank you. Obviously, I don't know what I'm doing. Anyway, now is the time in our service when we do the story for children. For those young at heart, get to come up if you want to and sit with me, and we'll have a story, okay? I invite you all up, and I know you don't know me, but I'm Deb McGuire. I'm also a member of the Board of Trustees. I'm the newly elected vice president, so I'm in a learning phase, but I have good mentors. So please come on up. I have a great story for you, and I might even ask you to participate and help me out a little bit, if that's possible. Come have a seat. Thank you, guys. How are you? You said those young at heart. And those young at heart, precisely.
Excuse me, miss.
Hi. Anybody else coming up? All right. This is a nice group. Thank you guys for coming up. Oh, we have some more. Okay. Here we go. I'm going to read a book that kind of has taught me some things about how to handle what goes on the board and make decisions and all those kinds of things. So what I'm going to ask you to help. Would you guys mind helping me a little bit? Okay. So the name of this book is When Things Aren't Going Right, Go Left. Okay? That's right. And I'm going to ask those of you on my right, every time the word right comes up in the script of the book, the text of the book, I'm going to hold out the microphone and you say the word right. You say it, not me. And the same thing for the people on my left. All right? I'll try to capture all of you. All right? But speak up so the microphone can capture your voice, okay? Okay. Well, I guess I'll ask that you not scream then.
Okay.
Okay. So anyway, okay, so let's practice a little bit. I'm going to read the title. When things aren't going
Right.
go.
Left.
Outstanding. Now I know this is our right and this is our left, and that's not true of the adults out there, but we all know that adults are confused a lot of the time. All right, we're going to move on.
Some of that really are central edge.
All right. There we go. Okay. One day, for no particular reason, nothing was going.
Right.
Absolutely nothing was going.
Right.
So I decided to go
Left.
The first thing I did, I left behind my worries. Yep, I left them right there on the ground. They looked up at me and wondered, "Where are you going?" But I just smiled and waved goodbye. "Wait," they hollered, "come back. What will happen to us?" I simply shrugged my shoulders. "You'll be fine." As I walked away, I thought, did I make the
Right.
right choice? Should I go back and get them? Doubts crept in. So you know what I did? I left behind my doubts. Yup, I left them right there on the ground. They bellowed, "You're making a mistake." But I just gazed at the sky. They questioned, "Are you sure you're making the
Right.
decision?" "Absolutely," I declared. With my worries and doubts left behind, I could finally think clearly. I forged on until I came to a pool and a diving board that I remembered all too well. The last time I tried to dive off that diving board, I splatted on my back. Ouch. I remembered the pain and how scared I was. I started thinking, maybe I shouldn't try this again. So you know what I did? I behind my fears. Yep, I them
Right.
there on the ground. They screamed, "Don't do it." I stood up straight, shoulders back, hands pressed above my head. "Stop," they cried, but I simply turned and gave them a wink. I leaped, splat, on my back once again. Oof, that stings. I thought to myself, this is impossible. It can't be done. So you know what I did? I
Left.
behind my frustrations. Yep, I them
Right.
there on the ground. They yelled, "You can't do it." Again, I stood up straight, shoulders back, hands pressed above my head. They laughed. "Give up already." I whispered to myself, "No way, never." I leapt. Feet together, toes pointed, legs straight. Perfect. I did it. I started to realize the more I went, the more
Right.
I felt. So, you know what I did? I kept going. And before I knew it, everything was going.
Right.
As I walked home, I glanced at the ground, and I noticed something that I did not expect. My frustrations were a lot smaller. My fears a lot quieter. My doubts a lot calmer. My worries practically gone. So I decided to pick them back up. And you know what? They felt lighter now, and they weren't so hard to handle anymore. And I realized it was okay to have them with me, so long as I kept an eye on them and made sure they didn't get too big or too loud or too overwhelming. But if they did, and I felt like nothing was going
Right.
again, then I'd simply go. There you go. And the author has a message for us. He says, when life's burdens start to feel too heavy, don't be afraid to put them down for a while. Okay, thank you guys for helping me so much. I appreciate it. Okay, so here in a minute, I think Ellen's going to make an announcement about this hymn.
So please join me in singing our hymn, but it's number 1057, not 1059. I made a mistake. Go lift it up.
Bye, y'all. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Maria Laro, and this is my third year on the board, and I also serve as board secretary and board liaison to the stewardship committee. So I'm doing the offer this morning. Every month, we share our generosity with a designated organization. This month, it is Treat Pittsburgh. All donations are shared 50-50 with this organization unless otherwise designated. Our religious community is made up of volunteers and staff creating and hosting a variety of programming. In addition to the collection plate, you can donate by texting GIVE to 412-435-1050 and following the directions. Please check the end of the order of service for more ways to give. The offering will now be gratefully received to support the work, the wonder, and the witness of our religious community.
Everybody is wondering what and where they all come from. Everybody is worried about where they'll go when the whole thing's done. But no one knows for certain, so it's all the same to me. I think I'll just let the mystery be. Some say once you're gone forever, and some say you're gonna come back. Some say you'll rest in the arms of the Savior if in sinful ways you lack. Some say you're coming back in a garden, bunch of carrots and little sweet peas. I think I'll just let that mystery be. Everybody is wondering what and where they all come from. Everybody is worried about where they'll go when the whole thing's done. No one knows for certain, so it's all the same to me. I think I'll just let that mystery be. Some say they're going to a place called glory, and I ain't saying that ain't a fact. But I heard that I'm on the road to purgatory, and I don't like the sound of that. 'Cause I believe in love, and I live my life accordingly. And I choose to let the mystery be. Everybody is wondering what and where they all come from. Everybody is worried about where they'll go when the whole thing's done. But no one knows for certain, so it's all the same to me. I think I'll just let the mystery be. I think I'll just let the mystery be.
Hello, everybody. Hang on a sec. There we go. My name is Casey Taylor. I am on my second year on the board, and as of like 2 weeks ago, I am the president of the Board of Trustees. So if any of you are deeply upset about anything that's happening here today, please feel free to email me after the service. No, it's been a pleasure serving with the people of the board, and certainly my first time being the president of anything, so give me some grace as I figure some stuff out here. I'm going to be leading us in our meditation, our silence, or our prayer, so I'd like to first just open by reminding us that we hold each other in our hearts and our minds. All of our joys and all of our sorrows, we share them equally. I would like to invite you all into a few moments of silence, personal meditation, or prayer, and then I'll bring us back in a moment. Feel free to stay wherever you are. When Reverend Kate asked me to lead this portion this week, I procrastinated quite a bit. I do that a lot anyway, but this is theoretically very easy for me to offer a prayer or a meditation or some words. For me, it's as simple as praying the hours, but we're a more universal congregation than that, and so I wasn't really sure what I wanted to offer today. But I thought that meditation would be a better word to use than how I think of prayer. Because when I pray, I'm very angry. And today's more of a service about good news. And meditation, I think, is something we think of with anger. We think of it as a place where we can let go of the things that are bothering us. So I wanted to tell you a story while maybe you're reflecting inward. And we can serve that as a prayer today. And it's a story about a man I was very fortunate to meet a few years ago and interview for many hours and write about. And I won't tell you his first name. You can look it up later because the last name's what matters. His name is Razuk. Razuk's not a priest. He's not a rabbi. He's not an imam. He is a tattooist who lives in Jerusalem. His name is famous in the region not because of his individualist contribution, but because the Razuks have been tattooing pilgrims to the Holy Land for hundreds of years. They're Coptics. We have a congregation here in Ambridge, actually. They have a beautiful church I'd recommend to look at if you ever want to. It's part of the Oriental Orthodox Communion, and the Razuk's tattoos are created using wood block stencils that have been pressed onto pilgrims for over 500 years. I thought of Razuk's story for our meditation because tattooing is an expression of grief. A lot of people don't think of it that way necessarily, unless you see the RIP one. It's an externalization of inner pain and a permanent reminder of something that's been lost to the ages, even silly ones, because those are moments in one's life that's now evaporated into the cosmos and been relegated to memory. My favorite detail from the story of Razuk and the tattoos he makes, other than the fact that his grandfather tattooed Emperor Haile Selassie in exile, which was pretty cool, is that he tattoos St. George, but he tattoos the Coptic version of St. George, which is when he slays the dragon. But he's a tattooer, so he takes money from anybody, not just Coptics. And he puts that on Muslims a lot too when they're feeling a little rebellious, because as anyone knows, Muslims aren't supposed to get tattooed at all. And the reason is because in Islam, that St. George figure is known as Al-Qadir. Al-Qadir is known as the Green One, or the servant of God. And really, he means the same thing as St. George. And so I wanted to give you all that image because here in this church, we take the universal and we turn it into one expression. And that's what he's been doing there for about 500 years now. And I recommend checking out his work sometime. Thank you.
morning. My name is Susan Whitaker, and this is my first year serving as a member of the Board of Trustees. Thank you for your confidence. I will be reading an untitled poem by Cleo Wade from her book, Where to Begin, a small book about your power to create big change in our crazy world. We do not live this life alone. We live it together. When you receive a spark of good news, do not hold it tight to your chest. Let it breathe. Let it catch fire. When you speak of the light, you invite others into the warmth. A single word of hope can travel through a crowd like a gentle, steady wave. Your joy is not yours alone to keep. It belongs to the air we share. It belongs to the hands we hold. By speaking the good into existence, you build a sanctuary for us all. Do not stay quiet in your gratitude. Share the light. Watch the room brighten. And remember that we are always stronger and always closer when we celebrate together. Thank you.
Good morning. Happy Sunday. My name is Kyle, and I am not on the Board of Trustees, but I used to be. Until very recently, I was your treasurer, and now I'm pleased to serve in a non-board capacity as your assistant treasurer. Today, we find ourselves in a world filled with challenges. The fossil fuel industry and its enablers in government have succeeded in undoing years of progress on clean energy. Hostility toward minority groups is higher than it has been in decades. The global economy is more unequal than it has been in a century. And inaccessible healthcare and pollution have stalled the gains in longevity achieved by past generations. Now, none of these stats are probably surprising to this group, and especially to you out there in YouTube land with your screens filling up with notifications. We are bombarded daily by bad news. And as a faith community committed to making the world a better place, that means that we are often surrounded by even more bad news. Action alerts and rapid responses dominate our inboxes. So why then are we having a sermon and a service that's called Good News? Well, the first piece of good news is that everything I just told you is not true. And in fact, it's almost the opposite. The United States is actually on track to cut 2/3 of the climate pollution that it was expected to cut before clean energy rollbacks, and the world as a whole is experiencing nothing short of a solar-powered, electrified revolution away from fossil fuels. Global acceptance of gay and lesbian people, immigrants, and racial and ethnic minorities has never been higher. And even in 2025, the country with the highest rate of immigrants saying that their own community was welcoming to people from other countries, at 96%, the United States. Global inequality as measured by consumption has fallen sharply since 2000, and for the first time, the middle class around the world has overtaken the top 10% in terms of what they can afford to consume. Meanwhile, advances in affordable medical treatments have led to a 30% drop in dementia among older Americans in just 40 years, from 40% of the population to only 10%, while government regulation and social pressures have caused adult smoking rates to fall below 10% for the first time, with especially large drops in young people. So by many measures, we are living in an unprecedented time of wealth, health, equity, and scientific discovery. And yet, we are not happy. Writing recently in The Atlantic, the journalist Annie Lowry documents how Americans are more pessimistic than ever about our own economy, even as living standards have improved dramatically across income levels. We are actually more optimistic during times of actual recession and depression than we are today. And this ongoing belief in bad news, she worries, is more dangerous than any actual economic threat. And while that 96% of United States immigrants that I talked about who think our communities are a good place for them, only 81% of native-born Americans share that same feeling, the biggest divide of any country. Other writers have similarly documented how our cynicism and doom scrolling contribute to everything from political conflict to a lack of faith in the institutions that are crucial for us to succeed in the long term. Good news, then, brings three pretty important benefits. First, learning and sharing good news just feels good. Movements of young people are overthrowing authoritarian regimes around the world. The incredible diversity of life continues to reveal itself as biologists have recently discovered fascinating new species like palm-sized bright blue octopuses and orange-lipped monkeys. Dramatically fewer people are dying from traffic accidents around the world compared to just a decade ago. And astronomers have found the first Earth-like planet with an atmosphere. The world provides a buffet of daily amazements, and we should feast. Second, good news pops those bubbles and shreds those filters of pessimism by grounding us in more of a shared reality. And finally, good news serves as a powerful complement to hope. Susan talked about hope earlier. Many writers, particularly lately in the United States, have been writing about the value of hope, particularly in its contrast to optimism. So optimism being the idea, the belief that everything will go well, but rather hope is the idea that we can achieve specific goals if we try. And good news, then, is proof that hope works. It's the tangible evidence of our efforts translating into change. And that evidence can help sustain our hope when we experience particularly challenging times. Good news also has, of course, religious significance. The word gospel has its origins in the words good news. And good news is an important concept in many world religions. You heard earlier Neil talking about the importance of good news in Unitarian Universalism, right? When he talked about our value of generosity. And he talked about how that generosity, as it shows up in our values, calls us to, quote, cultivate a spirit of gratitude and hope. Now, celebrating good news doesn't mean that we're ignoring all the challenges and the difficulties and the problems or the unfairness in the world. Those exist. We might even feel a guilty conscience for celebrating when there are things out there that could be better. But embracing good news is a form of radical honesty. It's an acknowledgement that the world is a more complex place that we might care to admit, and sometimes that is scary. There's actually a perverse kind of comfort in thinking and knowing that everything's gone to shit. This is why we do this part after the children have left. Because if we think that everything's gone to shit, if we know that that's the world, then at least we know what to expect. Uncertainty about the state of the world is often more uncomfortable than believing that everything is bad. And if there's one thing that humans don't like, it's uncertainty. And if everything is going to be bad, we don't really need to worry about trying because it's not going to work anyway. So for some of us, accepting where things have improved confronts us with the sometimes uncomfortable next step, which is that we could make it even better, but only if we put in the effort. And for others, holding the idea of progress alongside difficulty, that forces us to acknowledge our own biases and jadedness that we might be carrying about how the world works, especially if some of the evidence challenges our perceptions. If you're convinced that global elites hold all the power, then learning that global inequality is actually shrinking might make you uncomfortable enough that you doubt everything else I have to say. If you've absorbed the popular idea that we're in the middle of a mass extinction of that interdependent web of all existence, when I tell you that new research suggests that extinction rates actually peaked in the early 1900s and have been declining ever since, you might question my very motivations for giving this sermon. But stay with me, because it turns out that some of this skepticism is not our fault. Our obsession with bad news may have deep evolutionary roots. People have a tendency to remember bad information over good. We may overestimate risks more than we overestimate benefits. We're more likely to doubt the messenger than doubt our own uneasy feelings. And researchers theorize that focusing on negative information actually helped to keep early humans alive. It was a good thing. But this negativity can hurt us today when it leads us to develop an inaccurate picture of the world, a negative picture of the world. The answer, then, it's not blind optimism. It's to know that our natural tendency is to focus on bad news and to intentionally counter that by seeking out good. And so I invite you then to take these 3 steps. First, audit the news that you get today. Not just the literal news, the newspapers, those still exist, magazines and notifications on your phone and email newsletters, but also the people you surround yourselves with and the places that you spend your time. Since our social environments color a lot of how we feel about the world. And if your audit reveals that you're consuming mostly negative news, make an explicit effort to add more good news, especially news that challenges your perceptions. And if you're struggling to find sources of good news, reach out to me. I can give you the sources that I rely on to lift me out of the darkness. Second, share good news. Spread the gospel. As social animals, when we share positive information with others in our communities, it carries more weight than just reading something online. It helps us build bonds that are forged in joy instead of just skepticism for what seems out of reach. So make it easier for other people in your life to hear good news by being a source of it. And practice starting your very next conversation after this sermon with good news, and notice when you're slipping into bad. And finally, be good news. Be the kind neighbor, the brave activist, the helpful friend, the generous donor, maybe even the world changer. Whatever you do, big or small, be the good news for someone else to hear. Amen. So we're now going to stand as you are able and sing 295.
We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
Go forth and absorb that good news, share that good news, be that good news.